Peace and love, family. It's your girl, Sixthegoddis. And keep in mind, I'm a goddess and I'm sensitive about my shift. Hope you all are doing well. I am doing amazing. And part of the reason why I am doing so amazing, baby, is because I have been juicing. I've been juicing for the past few months and it has changed my life. Okay. Now, I am that girl. I am big on health and wellness, but I will admit to you, I am very bad at consuming raw fruits and vegetables. However, I know I can't just not consume them. And I learned about myself that though I may struggle eating them, I don't mind drinking them. But then with juicing came the issue of it being very time consuming, very messy, very meticulous. And I'm like, I can't commit to this. I'm not going to maintain this. I know I'm not. I know me. In comes Alpha Juice doing all the hard work for us. And they get our juices delivered to our front door, fresh, pressed, ready to go in what I call the silver football. My favorite flavor is Virgo. My second favorite flavor is Georgia Peach, though. I have had so many benefits to juicing. Okay. It helps alleviate mucus from your body, gets nutrients into your body. Ladies, helps keeps us hydrated. pH balance down there, if you know what I'm talking about. We're even going to save you a few dollars by getting $5 off using my code SIXGOD. Tell them I sent you. Now, this video today is a discussion that we truly need to have. And I am so tired, y'all. I am so tired of having to say rest in peace to these babies. I'm so exhausted just mentally from this. Now I'm big on not continuing on reacting to consequences when they happen, but I am big on prevention. Okay, not reacting to things once they happen, but studying and looking at what can be done to prevent this from happening in the first place. All right. Now, I'm going to first read you guys an Instagram post that I put up on my page. Let me see. I put it on my page last week, and I want to share the screen and put it up here, but I told you guys that Instagram is terrible. And for some reason, it's not allowing me when I try to share my screen and show something on Instagram. For some reason, it's showing up super small and I can't pull it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the post to you. Okay. The post says, please stop congratulating a woman just because she's pregnant. A woman will be unmarried, broke, mentally unstable, toxic AF, then be pregnant, and y'all be in her comments like, congratulations, and throw her a baby shower. Sometimes you don't need to be congratulating. You need to be praying for that poor baby and another broken home created. In the caption, it says, it's sad and unfortunate fact that I had to accept and realize about grown people today. They don't care about kids. People today couldn't care less about our children. We are in a society full of selfish and self-serving adults. I hate when a woman comes in my face or posts online talking about I'm pregnant, like we're supposed to automatically be happy about it. Ma'am, you have a little schizophrenia, a little bipolar disorder. This is your baby daddy's third baby and third baby mama. You have $452 in your bank account. There is nothing to congratulate. Any woman can get. The moment you speak on what the children need, the adults tune it out. When you speak on the proven fact that what is best for the babies is loving, married, two-person households that stay married with man and woman coming together in divine balance, the grown-ups get mad. I have seen adults actually suck their teeth and dismiss the idea of considering the child's needs first. We think the youth are killing us and each other because of rap music, which is a cop-out at best. No, they are doing so because they have been discarded spiritually and emotionally by us. This is the result of the lack of organized family structure. This is what happens when children are created by carelessness and disregard instead of intentionally building Black families. People now want babies, not families. Women want child support money, not a father in the home. Men want access to sex with multiple women, not a healthy mother and wife to produce multiple children. We blame everyone but ourselves for the state we are currently in. When I'm out and about, it's not the adults I'm scared of, it's the young folks. I know the effect on children being raised in mama's house and at daddy's on the weekend, or even worse, no daddy present at all. I know the effects on children raised by daycare and an iPad instead of by their mother to be properly loved and nurtured. The baby may be a blessing, but the circumstances that baby was brought into is hell. Okay. And oh my gosh, they lost their minds. They lost their minds. Oh my God, every baby, we're going to congratulate them. Oh my God, don't you have a child? Why are you saying this? And I'm like, you know what? The era I grew up in, if you're a millennial like myself, yourself and most people that you knew and were around were kids raised in a single parent household. That was an era before social media, before YouTube, where women were still acting like, I'm strong and I don't need no man. I'll take care of my kids by myself. When I was growing up, there were no women that were telling us like, hey, I'm a single mom and I'm letting you know right now, do not do it. Okay. Boy, it took me one time to learn my lesson. You ain't had to worry about me doing that ever again. Okay. So my generation, single motherhood was very normalized. Okay. No women were admitting that it wasn't ideal. No women were admitting that they had messed up. No men were admitting it. It was accepted. It just was what it was. Okay. This is why I want to see a change in the culture to where we go back to it just not being acceptable. I'm not congratulating you. And it's so interesting to me in the mind of women how in that post, I simply said, I am not going to congratulate you. I'm not going to celebrate you. It's so amazing to me how women translate not celebrating them and not congratulating them as you wishing bad on them or you hating them. And I understand why women feel that way because we are designed to need adoration. So when you even mention the idea of removing congratulations and adorations from the women, they lost their mind, which showed me that that is what will work. Okay. As long as women know that they can get knocked up and everyone's going to say congratulations and throw them a big party where all the attention is on them and they do their hair and their makeup and get their dress on and this, that, and the third, it will continue to happen. Okay. The way that you starve women of a concept, yes, is by taking out the adoration in it. I'm telling you, I am not saying congratulations to you and you're pregnant and you're single. I'm also not saying congratulations to you if you get married to a man after you've already had his children. I'm not saying congratulations. Okay. We have got to stop co-signing the BS. All right. Now, it was not a week after I made that post where there was an incident that happened here in Atlanta that absolutely broke my heart. There was an incident here in Atlanta where a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed at Atlantic Station. I am going to show you a little bit of this clip. I'm not going to keep the video up too long because I don't want YouTube to strike it. But I want you all to listen to this. And there is a certain part of this that really made me perk up and made me be like, oh my God, I cannot believe this has gotten this bad. And I want you guys to watch this and I want you to listen out for the part that I'm talking about. Okay.
Kids were escorted off of Atlantic Station property for unruly behavior and curfew violations. When the group got to the bridge, police say there was some sort of dispute that then led to gunfire. Zion was killed and 5 others were shot and rushed to the hospital. Well, this afternoon, Zion's mother went before the city council.
As they listened to her emotional comments, council members talked about a big gap in juvenile justice and the need to provide more help to Atlanta police. Fox 5's Morse Diggs was at that meeting and joins us live with more. Morse.
Derricka Charles told the council members that her son had behavioral problems, at least a portion of that medical. She said she sought intervention from the juvenile court system, but that request went nowhere. What happened to one 12-year-old child sparked an outcry for Atlanta city leaders to do less talking about troubled young people and come up with action. The boy's mother spoke to members of the council public safety panel.
I said he's out breaking these folks' cars. Could y'all please get him up the street and take him down, let him know, but somebody killed my son. And I can give y'all this police officer number. I talked to him 7 days ago. And I said, I'm begging you, could you get my son in custody? He's I can take him down, tell him down to the juvenile system all day. It's up them to keep him, and they're not gonna keep him.
All right, I'm gonna pause it there for a second. The moment that a mother has to call the police and the system and beg them to lock her child up because she cannot control him at 12 years old is the minute, ladies and gentlemen, that we are royally fucked and we have fucked up. The moment that shopping areas like Atlantic Station and Lenox Mall have to ban minors after a certain time so that they don't kill us all is the moment we have fucked up. Okay, we're going to continue and watch the rest of this, but I wanted to make sure you all really digested the sound and the visual of this Black woman on the news having to beg white supremacy to lock her child up at 12 years old. That a woman has to go to the system. Where the fuck is this boy's father at? Let's just continue.
They told me he gotta have a point support system.
Police investigators are still putting pieces together about what
I'm
led
gonna
to a
rewind
total
that.
of
I want
6
you all to
people
listen to
over.
that one more time.
It's up them to keep him, and they're not gonna keep him. 7 days ago, and I said, I'm begging you, could you get my son in custody? I can take him down, tell him down to the juvenile system all day. It's up them to keep him, and they're not gonna keep him. They told me he gotta have a point support system.
Police investigators are still putting pieces together about what led to a total of 6 people overall being shot Saturday night in Midtown. But the gap in the juvenile court system created by the point formula for discipline is a problem officers deal with daily when they pick up a teen or preteen.
A lot of us have dealt with the point system for a very long time, and it does not work. The older kids are using the younger kids to commit the crimes because of the way the point system works. And so what we're doing is putting violence into the hands of a very young person.
We won't be able to put a police officer at every corner inside the city.
Right.
So it requires more than just the police department to address this issue.
It requires
more
all
than the
of
city
us.
of Atlanta. It has to be a parent.
Now, another thing that Peake, the deputy chief, spoke to about this whole problem, he says he needs better coordination, whether it's Atlantic Station or another private venue, before young people are expelled from the property. He says APD needs to know about that so they can get police officers there to handle any overflow. From Northeast Atlanta, I'm Morris D.
So some people say, these conversations that we're having, they say, why do y'all care? It's not your business. Is that and the third? Well, this is why it's always our business. And I talked about this in a recent video. Because even if you do everything right as a parent, even if you play your role as a parent and are there and are supportive, it's not going to matter if you still have to send your children out into the world with kids who did not receive the same. Okay. Whoever Zion Charles' father is should be brought to the front of the congregation and burned at the stake. He should be publicly shamed and humiliated that he allowed this to happen to his son. And yes, I blame him. And I don't know the status of his father, but if he is alive, if there is breath in his body, then I 100% blame him for his son, for this happening to his son. And sir, if you see this, I want you to know that this is 100% your fault. It is. So let me explain this. I noticed that in the clip, they spoke on how he has behavioral issues, and they said some of them are health related. So I'm assuming that he's had an ADD or ADHD diagnosis, is what that sounds like. There is a disturbing connection between young Black boys who are diagnosed with ADHD and no fathers in the home. The reason why I will no longer congratulate and throw baby showers for women who are pregnant and unmarried is because 9 times out of 10, that child that's in your womb right now will grow up to be a threat to humanity. Do you all I feel everyone's like tiptoeing around the issue. Everyone's like, well, what should we do? Like a point system, like more police? That is called a band-aid. In order to fix the problem at the root, you need Black man and Black woman in the home getting over themselves, putting themselves aside, and being grown adults and following a code and a system and having it be about the children. If you are pregnant by a man who did not care enough to give you his last name before he gave you his semen, I'm uninterested. Okay? The moment that we have to have a Black mother come on the news and beg the police to lock her child up is the moment where we are officially in a state of emergency. Okay? It has been proven that young Black boys who do not have their father in the home, yes, you are for the streets. That means, yes, he can go to school and they can tell his mother that he has ADHD. That boy don't have ADHD. He just does not have a father. Okay, I'm sure when this woman was pregnant, I'm sure she had a baby shower and I'm sure everyone was saying congratulations. Now you fast forward years later and we're over here in the entire city having to come up with a plan to protect us from the youth. Okay. And I was having a discussion about that same post on Facebook. And I said, yeah, it's the children with no fathers. It's the children where women are raising them. Okay. That more times than not are going to be the ones that are grow up and going to kill us. See, what happens is when children do not have the proper love and nurturing, what do they say? A child who does not feel the warmth from the village will burn it down to feel the heat. That is what we have going on right now. I know that in so many ways we speak on how the woman is the first teacher. And that is such an intricate statement because the main thing that the woman teaches the child is emotional intelligence. And that women set the culture for children and the culture for their families. So when you have these children where mom is working 10 hours a day, father is gone. He is either running the streets with another woman, he's either in jail or something like that. You have a child that was raised by 4C and grandma and the iPad. Okay. Their emotions never develop. And this is what I was talking about before. And this is the perfect recipe on how to create little baby psychopaths and little baby sociopaths that can have a simple tiff and disagreement in the middle of Atlantic Station and resort to killing each other. Okay. Let's not even talk about how we're already battling the residual effects of the transatlantic slave trade. We're already battling the effects of Jim Crow and civil rights, we have to understand there was a point in time where marriage was illegal for us as Black people. Do we understand where the term jumping the broom came from? The term jumping the broom came from how Black people would get married because white supremacy made it illegal. Okay. This is why I get so irritated with the people like Candace Owens who just sit and say, oh my God, look at Black people. You get what you deserve. Ma'am, 100 years ago, it was illegal for Black people to get married. So can you stop? If marriage has just been legalized for us to even do in the past century, you are crazy to think that there will not be residual effects of it. This is why we have to be intentional in educating ourselves and coming up with plans and systems. Because since then, the best we have come to right now is do what makes you happy. And I have people in the comments arguing me that we should congratulate this woman when she got pregnant. And then the child grows up and is in the ground. Where I know for a fact, if that boy had a mother and father in the home with structure and discipline, first of all, he would not have been out there, and he would not have been out there with the crowd that he was clearly with to get caught in some crossfire like that. I know for a fact there's no strong father in the home, because no strong father in the home would have to go to the police and to white supremacy to discipline his child. Okay. If we do not, and I say this, I'm a woman where I always thought I would have a whole bunch of children. Okay. But I refused to say, you know what, just because I want to have the children, I am not going to do it unless I know it can be in a healthy situation long term, a healthy marriage. In 2022, relationships and dating are so much different than how it used to be. So much different. There's so much outside influences. There's so much supply at people's fingertips on social media and Instagram and Facebook. Like, things are so complicated. I encourage people so much, like, please do not just feel like I want to get married, so you just marry any old person and then you're crazy, then you have to divorce. Please stop saying I want to have a baby, so you just go have a baby regardless of your relationship status. You have to understand these things that you're doing are creating living, breathing human beings who will grow up one day. And we have sat here and congratulated all these women for getting pregnant, unmarried, with men who don't give a damn about you. And we know he don't give a damn about you, because if he did, he would never let you give birth to his seed without his last name. Now you're stuck raising these little boys by yourself with no men helping you. Now we have to get on the news and beg the police to lock our children up and saving us from ourselves. Despise the congratulations. Despise the baby shower. Okay. The only solution to this is to end the baby mama and baby daddy epidemic. You know, shit is getting real when the police are scared, where they're like, okay, even the police cannot contain these children. And I'm telling y'all now, it will get worse and worse, because these children have never had their emotions developed by their mother, because their mother was too busy working to compensate for dad not being there. So since their emotions have never been developed, the idea of consequence, the idea of regard for other people is foreign to them. And when the police are afraid, and when they can't even get enough police to show up to keep these kids from killing us all, that's how we know. Let's see the direction this is going before this completely blows up. I would like for us to take a moment to say, okay, we see this is starting to go left. Let's go ahead and start consciously building families instead of having babies. Let's start putting ourselves aside and stop being childish and be grown adults and do what needs to be done in the best interest of the child. I'm letting you all know now that if the culture of baby mama and baby daddy does not stop, we can look forward to more of this and even worse. Okay. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. I am literally afraid for the future and how things are going, especially when we're all ignoring what the real problem is. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.